Hola, buenos días. Soy Nico.
But y'all ain't saying, nah, man. I ain't even gonna wake that tea up.
Wake that tea up.
And today, we are here to talk about something fairly redundant. Nico, we're here to talk about a gay man doing gay things at a gay bar during gay pride and people being upset about it. Nico, this is about Andy Cohen. And the thing is, I have never looked into Andy Cohen because I don't watch, I believe, Real Housewives of whichever city that you actively watch, but he has come under fire because he was secretly recorded. Nico secretly recorded, because a lot of people don't understand the term secretly. Somebody basically had a phone hidden under the table so that they couldn't be seen and recorded Andy Cohen having a conversation with three gentlemen while one of them was sitting on his lap and getting his schnoop played with. You know, a little flicky flicky. I'm going to insert the video here, but I want to say beforehand, the person that's making commentary did not record the video. He's simply covering it because he does coverage of Real Housewives content. I guess that's like a brand. I personally don't watch Real Housewives, so I did not know this was content in and of itself. But yes, he basically does commentary on that franchise. And he thought since Andy Cohen was secretly recorded that he would do content based on what he's doing outside of the TV show. Unfortunately, I got too passionately reporting before saying this, but if you like this kind of content, make sure to follow me on patreon.com/Nicosaesthetics for more exclusive lives, leak videos, and be a part of the podcast, which should be airing once I get back to Houston to finish my move. If that sounds interesting to you, definitely check it out. And if you don't want to support via Patreon, just make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to help with the algorithm to support the channel. On to the story.
Someone who's having a very happy Pride here in New York City, and that is Bravo's Andy Cohen. Some video footage of Andy having a good time with a fella in his lap is circling the internet.
So as you saw in the video, he was being shady just based on the faces and reactions he was making. And then if you looked into the actual comments, you could tell that he was being shady because somebody said, oh, he is taking advantage of our community once again. And he did a little gif of somebody sipping tea. And in this situation, I always come on here and I have conversations. I've had it in the past where we discuss older, more wealthy YT people in our community that actually turn back to the brown and black people within our community once they reach a certain age and are no longer seen as the pinnacle of beauty within their own community, so that they can still have some form of play because they understand the systems at play that put them on a higher hierarchy, be it socially, financially, or etc. So in this particular situation, I'm confused because the person that is sitting on his lap, giving him play willingly seems to be in his 30s. So at this point, if a 30-year-old man who is willingly sitting on this man's lap, entertaining the flirtatious advances, and his friends are all okay with it as well because no one is interjecting or looks uncomfortable, as Andy is casually doing this, because in a gay bar, quite frankly, this was very tamed, especially at a Pride party during Pride NYC. So I don't understand how he is preying on somebody within our community, especially when someone made the comparison of him being like Ed Buck. Nico, Ed Buck, if you do not know, was a wealthy YT gay man who would take advantage of homeless and or impoverished black and brown people within our community and would pump them full of substances and then throw them back onto the street after promising them shelter and finances, basically using and discarding them, resulting in some people no longer being with us. To make a comparison like that without any form of proof or evidence is disgusting. and it actively belittles our active movements to tackle these social issues. It's gotten to the point where even some of the Afro-pessimists have spoken out saying that this is a gross comparison if we're going to be talking about the advantages he has within our Black and brown circles as a wealthy white T person. We should be having an actual dialogue about how he could be benefiting rather than comparing him to an actual monster who committed grave crime. That's like comparing him to Jeffrey Dahmer. Yes, they are both YT. One was actively causing physical harm to our community. Andy Cohen is getting some play at an NYC Pride party. What do you want us to do about that? And it's gotten to the point that if you even spoke out against it, people were calling you a raccoon or they were calling you a sellout. And I don't understand how y'all can make these gross comparisons. You can spread misinformation because a lot of people were saying, okay, well, if you're not offended by this, it's T because he's married, when they're thinking of Anderson Cooper or whatever his name is, the actual news anchor. Andy Cohen is single and openly admits to being a big flirt and flirting around. This isn't news. This isn't tea. And when somebody said, well, why aren't you interested in this? Why aren't you, trying to get into it? Are you trying to protect him? Are you trying to protect a YT person? I'm not trying to protect anybody, but a gay man being gay at a gay event during gay pride it's not news. And a lot of people are saying, well, he's a public figure. He shouldn't be out in the open flirting and playing with people like everyone else does at a gay pride party. And my thing is, when we have these conversations about celebrities, we have to take a seat back and ask, aren't they a human being? Don't they get, excited? Don't they have super happy adult fun time? And in this situation, if his of age partner, because the man was in his 30s just from glancing, if his of age partner is consenting, what is the issue? And a lot of people were basically saying, y'all are just trying to further this discourse based around interracial relationships. And Nico, I am not pro swirl. I'm okay with if you find love, go where you are wanted, go where you are appreciated. I've never come on here and tell y'all it's time to swirl. It's just not within me. I've never personally dated a YT person. I'm not against it. It's just in the South, a lot of them carry a lot of prejudice, etc. So it's something I never actively pursued. But the fact that y'all have me on here defending this YT man, defending the possibility of the swirl culture, I'm upset with y'all more so than anyone else, because now y'all bringing me out my character. Because never in my days would I sit here and go, I'm going to defend Andy Cohen. I don't even know the man. A lot of people were saying that he's problematic because he's actively said, as a wealthy YT person, he just can't comprehend the struggles that Black people face, even though he has a large cast of Black housewives, even though white housewives outnumber the Black cast far to none. They're heavily outnumbered. But at the end of the day, if I'm looking for social commentary, if I'm looking to further my understanding of critical race theory or just social commentary, I'm not turning to Andy Cohen. So when they were trying to throw that in, that has nothing to do with the conversation at hand. Because we are talking about someone being secretly recorded and then demonized and compared to literal monsters who preyed on our community for the sole purpose that people are saying, oh, he's always in Harlem flirting with Black guys. At the end of the day, if he's not causing harm, if he's not saying something on a fetish-based level, if he's not saying something that is degrading our people, if the people that he's actively getting consenting play from are not harmed in the process and they are willing consenting adults, what do you want me to say? Like, what outrage do you want me to have seeing a gay man be gay with another gay man who is willing at a gay pride party? Like, I feel like the discourse is becoming so intense that you can't log onto Twitter without seeing misinformation and people blatantly lying on other people and or possibly fabricating information. So it's actually derailing the actual movement that we're trying to have by having these deeper conversations about race within the LGBT community, about having deeper conversations about the possible dangers that come with interracial relationships based on the power imbalance within that dynamic. You throwing in random things that you cannot prove, throwing in random conversations that have no backing, comparing him to someone who actually has actively caused harm to our community. I don't know what you want me to say, but it's not going to further a dialogue, but I definitely want to hear your opinions down below. How do you feel about the rumors that he also tends to go and flirt with and get with Black and brown people within Harlem? How do you feel about Andy Cohen being a human being and flirting and getting some play at an NYC Pride party? How do you feel about secretly recording public figures? Because a lot of conversations surrounded, oh, he's a public figure, he's a celebrity, he should expect to be recorded, so he shouldn't act like a normal human being, he should always be on go. And I wanted to tell people that's not how being a human being works. As someone who's been in the public eye, I remember I went to a party in NYC and a handsome, muscular man had me lifted against the wall. Nico, I like to get, frisky. I keep it tame. You don't see me taking off my clothes and stuff, but in the inappropriate context, you don't see me taking off my clothes. But at the end of the day, somebody tweeted, Nico, was that you at Meat Fest getting lifted against the wall? And I'm like, yeah, because even though people are public figures, you still want to do things that other people your age do or other people in general do. So I don't understand holding celebrities to a different standard if they're not making public appearances, if they're not making public statements. Because at this point, this man was at a Pride party at like 2 a.m. getting recorded while he's casually having conversation and getting some play. What do you want me to say? If you want us to talk about how as a public figure he should be navigating differently, that's a conversation. But I cannot keep him at fault for someone of age who is in their 30s giving him active play, because now that it has been discussed, well, why would we be upset if two consenting adults begin to interact with one another? They begin to insult the Black person, saying, oh, he must be wanting that stuff, or he must be wanting money from him. And at the end of the day, he could be doing it for money. I don't know that man. He's a complete stranger. Or he could be giving Andy some play. Do you know how many people were commenting, I would sit on Andy's lap? I personally don't see it, but apparently he is an attractive man to a lot of people, so I can't be upset that somebody would entertain him. But yes, I definitely want to hear your opinions down below. How do you feel about people comparing him to the likes of Ed Buck and Jeffrey Dahmer when he has not caused physical harm to anyone, at least publicly? No one has come forward. There are just rumors and whispers of people who are trying to further the agenda of this conversation. So I have to take it with a grain of salt because there's no actual evidence. Is the fact that y'all got me up here defending a YT person. That is not my brand. Y'all are not gonna coin me a certain, phrase or something just because I'm speaking real. But I have to bring this into question because it's just not okay to compare somebody to a literal monster just so that you can further your agenda. But I definitely want to hear your opinions down below. Definitely drop them down if you like this kind of content. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to help the channel with the algorithm. But I will see you guys next time, and I hope you enjoyed your Pride. Boom. And now for a brief yet sincere shout out to this week's direct tier subscribers, Edwin W. and Cortland A. Your continued support is greatly appreciated, and a great thank you to everyone who supports via Patreon. And this week's live streams will unfortunately be canceled because I will be on a cruise with my family. Pre-recorded YouTube videos will be posted, but I am taking the week off, so thank you for once again understanding and for the continued support.